This playthrough is rated E10+.
Greetings and salutations, viewers. Vauldemare back here with another episode of Cars 3 Drive to Win. In the last episode, we raced some races, and I talked about why I don't like, or I don't watch as many anime films as I used to because of trauma as a kid. Not really, but it was kind of just more me just talking about random stuff and trying to make light or interesting of a situation. So, maybe the last episode. We'll see how. Wait, I can't. Oh, it pressed down for a second. I was like, well, let me choose that. Actually, let me see what, let's see, complete 100 skill checks unlock, 80, 67. So really the game is all about just unlocking skill checks, really, and getting better, which I guess makes sense. It gives you reasons to try and do certain features in the game to play it more.
Ready to roll.
I really should just switch to other characters and see if they have say anything different or whatever. Yeah, let's try it out. I mean, if it's going to be the last episode or close to it, might as well do that. So, because I don't think, I mean, I guess I could be wrong. I mean, you could probably do all the races and unlock everything, and maybe there's something in the end where you do like one final race against those two. But I kind of really doubt it. I think we've pretty much seen all the story we can. The rest of it is just a racing title.
A bit of fog, but it's still a mighty fine day here in the little town of Thomasville, the setting for today's main event. We are mere moments away from the start of this race. Years from now, you're going to look back and remember where you were for this one.
You guys aren't tired of seeing me win, are you? Because I'm about to do it again.
You've only won once, at least because of me. Other times you lost because of me. Is it just me, or do a lot of the maps just seem very similar, except with just some minor, except for, placement? Like, I don't know, this looks like another map. It just, like I said, just slightly different. Just can't hit those canisters. Yeah, so what do I want to talk about now? Oh, yeah, I guess finish that. I am not off to a good start.
Aw, are you a little tired?
Is that me saying that? I think it might be. But yeah, Cars 2. So, yeah, I think I got in that tirade because of the whole making a whole movie based off a side character or the comedic relief that wasn't really that in depth of a character to warrant a whole movie. Then again, I guess I'm talking about in depth as in. Well, no, I guess a lot of animated Pixar have in-depth characters to a point. It only goes so far because, it's a movie made for everyone, kids and adults included, so you can't go too heavy with one or the other. Otherwise, you might lose one of the audience. And I'm not saying kids can't handle difficult stuff or scary stuff or whatever. I grew up in the 80s and 90s. We had a lot of odd movies when I was growing up, and a lot of nightmare fuel too. God, watch a lot of 90s and late 80s movies, and you'll get a lot of nightmare fuel for your kids. But that's kind of one. I'll admit that's probably one of the few things I miss about my time period. And yeah, nostalgia is a heck of an aphrodisiac, But there are certain things that you can look back on and say, yeah, I think those were. I keep pressing the wrong direction on those. But you can look at them and say, okay, those were actually good things, or at least generally good things. While other times you go, yeah, probably not, because you had the tinted. You had the. Is she trying to get a Spanish accent? It's like she's trying to have a Spanish accent. Oh, yeah, keep her. Oh. I guess you could do in the zone at any setup. Okay, well that didn't work very well. Oh man, I ruined it. I ruined you. I didn't even get that far with that ability. I didn't even get that far with it. Oh, come on, Mac. Jerk. I was doing so well. Not really. But yeah, just the whole. I mean, I think in the movie of Cars 2, there were good people in it, like Michael Caine. Although I don't know if he was trying too hard while doing the movie, but you can get Michael Caine in anything, and I'll always take a look at it anyway. He's one of those old time. Does Michael Caine still do movies, or is he officially retired now? I don't know. because I haven't really seen him in much. So maybe he has officially retired. I'm getting to that age where a lot of actors I really liked are now starting to kind of put up their shoes, figuratively speaking, for the acting game. You know,
here comes trouble.
like Jack Nicholson leaving a few years ago. You know, Sean Connery Sean Connery left quite a long time ago, actually, if I remember correctly, like over a decade ago or something like that. But you know, along those veins. And you know, I hate to be that guy, but I'm not really the biggest fan of a lot of the new up and coming actors coming along the scene. I don't know. Maybe it's just, then again, Hollywood and generally movies in general have kind of changed overall. And I really hate going down this topic because it makes me sound like I'm dang kids, and you know, making me feel like that's the only type of conversation I can have, because it's all new and different. I don't like it. Maybe it is true. Maybe I am having that conversation because I'm not grown. Although I've talked with my nephew a few times about stuff like this, and he has similar feelings about certain things like I do. So it can't be just me. Not everything. I mean, there's just some things that I'm just not going to like because that's just not what I'm into or whatever. But I think there's certain like universal guidelines or sentimentalities about certain things that you can kind of agree with anyone, really. I guess the overdrive ability only works if it's like if you have a full contingent or whatever it is. Okay, I did not do well there. And I've used all my turbo. Great. Oh, if I only had one more turbo. No. Oh, I almost got first too, but I got knocked around. Oh well. Yes, Miss Ramirez, you won. You won.
Let's talk about Cam Spinner for a minute. Earlier today, he ran into all kinds of trouble on the track and dropped his second race in a row. That had to hurt. Do you have anything to add, Natalie?
Well, for a moment it seemed I miscalculated, but no. Once again, we see the numbers simply do not lie.
Thanks for watching, folks. You're the best. And you know what? So am I. Good night, everybody.
Well, I guess every car's got its own personalities. Natalie's the numbers person. All right, midnight runs. We'll go
Here's
do
a
that
quick
too.
statistical update.
Does it depend on who's like? No, I think Natalie always does the skill checks. I was about to say for a second, I was like, oh, is it based off who the secondary person is when you get skill check? But no, I think it's always Natalie. But anyway, gonna finish that. You know, I was almost about to make it a long-running joke that I never finished my thought about Cars 2, ever. Like, even by the finishing of the series, I'll be like, see you all next game, and I'm like, and I'd never finish the thought, and it'll bug the crap out of like you or me or whoever.
I am ready to roll.
Oh right, I was gonna try changing it.
I am ready to roll.
Ugh, why am I have a whole tirade about him, and I'm choosing to play as him. Holy. I don't know if he's actually the best selling out of the Cars characters. I think it's still Lightning because of his sleek design, I think, and he was the main character. Actually, out of the Cars characters,
Coming to you live from Thomasville's Midnight
let me
Rush,
finish.
where a big old
Let me
bank
finish
of
this
fog
first.
rolled in about an hour ago. Visibility may be low, but let me tell you, expectations couldn't be higher. Anytime you manage to gather a field of racers together like this, you know you're in for something amazing. This is who everybody's come to see, an expert stunt driver, one of the best I've ever seen.
No, she isn't. Okay, whatever. Oh, I forgot what I was talking about. No, I don't remember. Oh yeah, the whole joke about finally finishing my thoughts on. Oh, that is not annoying. On Cars 2. Yeah, this map looks similar to a previous one I've done before. Yeah, I think. Maybe I gave the designers of the games too much credit for reusing so many assets. Now, what's that one? Let's see. Used 150. Man, I haven't hardly unlocked anything in this. What? Yeah, let's see. Air tricks, iron bronze, and every playground challenge. Right backwards for 15 minutes. Complete at least one event with each character. Skill checks. It doesn't look like there's like an ending to this game at all, or not a. There isn't a. Oh, beat the initial plot or whatever. I didn't think so, but I wasn't gonna play it that long anyway. I was kind of using this game as more of just a general rant, discussion, whatever type of video. I mean, yeah, you could say I could do that with any of my other like episodes or whatever. But usually on those, I'm usually focusing on the plot or talking about how I feel about the game in general. But here, I'm just kind of talking about just a bunch of random stuff, you know, like really no specific. Yeah, it looks like a lot of these races are, you know, those areas that seem to be blocked off by the like certain things or whatever. I think those are like those are accesses to other maps that they just section off to focus on this one. And I guess I can't really complain about reusing assets because a lot of companies do that, and to never use any of the assets ever again in another capacity is, well, it's not taking advantage of the fact that you have those assets to begin with, you know. Huh, maybe it would be funny if I win a race like really easily as Tow Mater. Talk about, although he doesn't super drift, he actually focuses a lot, or he's actually easier to control. I was about to say earlier that maybe like certain cars don't have, or all the cars aren't different, but that might not be true. They might actually be different. Because like Tow Mater is slightly different driving wise from like Miss Cruz or Lightning McQueen. So I guess there are slight differences. It's just not like Mario Kart where you can kind of tell like you can kind of tell like what their stat differences are, because it'll actually highlight on the actual screen like what their bonuses are and stuff like that. But yeah, see, Mater doesn't go super drifty all of a sudden. He's like, I guess the word is he's heavier, or at least he feels heavy, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's the word I'd use, but I think a car can feel weighty. Hopefully I'll be able to get that overdrive or whatever by this point. But yeah, like this one is like this specific type of charge or boost charge is decent, is somewhat easy to do. You know? Maybe I should have saved it for my overdrive or whatever it is. Oh well.
What's that you're doing?
But okay. Yeah, see, I got back into that pretty easily. I mean, I didn't hit the whole thing, but yeah, I don't know. I felt like I needed to have a rental game overall that wasn't something I would have to completely focus on. I could just kind of enjoy the, I don't know. I did not know over driving or whatever just knocks people out of the way. You're like, get out of the way! It's like a rap song or something. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. God. What's the word? Man, I'm unlocking all sorts of things for. Is this going to be the fact that Tow Mater is going to be the vehicle that works best for me? After everything I've talked about him, that would be hilariously dumb. And I got first place with Tow Mater. First time. I don't know what to say, folks. I think I might be speechless.
And welcome back to Chick's Picks. Okay, listen up. Tonight, I want to talk about Natalie Certain. She ran into some trouble today and just couldn't get back into the race. Not the result she was hoping for. And what do you have to say about this, Mater?
Can you tell him to start over? I was not watching.
Hey, that's it for tonight. Join us tomorrow for more highlights and commentary with me, legendary Piston Cup champion Chick Hicks.
Oh, I thought it chose the secondary player but from the ones who didn't participate in that race. Huh, I guess it's just random. That's weird. Radiator Springs Wheel Well Loop.
Let's
Woo,
take a
Wheel
look
Well
at your
Loop.
recent achievements.
I think we got quite a few skill checks on that one, I think. Okay. Or not. Never mind. Okay, it seemed like I'd gotten a lot. We got unlocked Natalie Certain. She's the analyst lady, right? Oh, yeah. Highly respected statistical analyst who judges strictly by the numbers. By the book! Well, isn't she lovely? But yeah, I got first place with Mater pretty easily. Maybe it's just because that track itself was pretty easy. That's still kind of messed up that I did so well with Tow Mater. Oy. I don't, like I said, I don't know how to feel about that. All right, we'll do one final race, and then I think we'll call Cars 3 a done. I was about to say one and done, but no, I did like 3 or 4 episodes based off this. So.
Get ready. Lightning is about to...
Well, racing's a little like being...
Yeah, let's just use our newest unlocker.
Conditions highly favor my style of driving.
I'll just do yellow because... Did that just go out her backside? Did she fart fire? No, wow, childish of me. But, okay, yes, we're finally going to finish the Cars 2 thing. Okay, it was a fine movie, had some comedy, it was spy stuff. Probably shouldn't have been made like that as a sequel to a Cars movie.
Man, it's a chilly day
Could have been
here
about
in Radiator
Lightning
Springs,
McQueen
but
again,
nothing's
or
gonna
like
stand in the
I'm more of
way
a fan of
the
just
main
getting different
event.
characters'
Anytime you band
perspectives
together
in the
for
same
a race
world.
together
So
like
maybe the
this,
first
you
movie
know
being
you're
about
in for
Lightning, and then the
something
second
amazing.
movie maybe being about I don't know about the love interest from the first movie, Sally, like what she did before. It could have been maybe a romantic comedy or something like that, or maybe not romantic comedy, but something about her leaving the business world behind or something like that, or yeah, I mean, it could have been about Tow Mater, but maybe in his early days as a younger Tow Mater or something like that, about where he got his personality from or something like that, or maybe you could have done a movie about Doc Hudson. Oh wait, no, the voice actor for him passed away. Who was Patrick Newman? No, maybe. I thought it was Newman. Maybe his first name isn't Patrick, but no, I think it is Patrick Newman. But he passed away. That's why they in the second movie he basically passed away off screen instead of, as a remembrance to Newman instead of a Newman. I think it's Newman. I hope I'm getting that right. I don't want to disrespect the actor because he was a giant. He was a giant in his own day. As an actor was, had a lot of classic roles. But yeah, they could have done. I mean, okay, you could have still done a movie about Doc Hudson, just gotten a different voice actor, or getting someone who was close to his voice, which it was pretty distinct. And
This is not the race I prepared for.
but it kind of brings up the whole conversation about like, when's it okay to retire a character or just straight out change their voice, when how distinguished it is, and if the person just passes away, do you keep it going or do you keep it going, or do you respect the voice actor or whatever and just and you just retire it? So I don't know. I don't think you should completely retire a character if there's still more stories to tell, because I mean, heck, Batman has a million different voices. Well, okay, not a million. Although I'll admit I'm more of a Kevin Conroy Batman out of all the other Batman. So, but that's just because that's the one I grew up on.
I did not predict that.
You can tell I'm not doing very well this race with Natalie, and I don't think it's their fault. It's just ice physics and all that other stuff, which isn't too bad here. It's just in certain parts. And I'm hitting a lot of sections that I'm dragging behind on. God, look at me. I'm just like really far behind. Oh wow, she drifts like really heavily. I was so maybe this is why I choose Wario on a Mario Kart more often, because of how weighty he is. Because I need something with better control. I'm not very good with not flighty. I'm not very good with the speedster character cars. Although usually those are the ones you use if you're an expert driver, because you have a lot of look, I just flung him out of the way. Get out of the way! I'm all about the numbers. Yeah. But anyway, you could have done a movie about Doc Hudson in his younger days when he heard the crash. Maybe the final bit of the movie is him crashing and get some humility, or even though you kind of talk about it in the first movie, but still, or I don't know. I mean, John Lasseter and the people at Pixar are a million times more creative than I am, but I feel like that maybe there was some other people talking in their ear at the time of them working on the movie or something like that. Because I mean, Pixar still is a part of Disney, so in some instances they still have to kind of follow their word of law for
living up to statistical low expectations.
for what they require, despite them giving a lot of autonomy because, you know, Pixar did pretty well even before Disney, so you don't want to, like, put too many hands in that kitchen, you know, without disrupting it, although it's not like Disney's completely immune from trying to touch things where they should just leave it alone. You know, but still. Hey, we actually get to take advantage of that as well. Whoa! I'm gonna die! But anyway, yeah, just Cars 2, okay movie, could have been better. I don't know what story they could have told. I gave you a few examples, but like I said, I'm more of a wannabe writer than a full-time writer, really, despite me saying I'm, you know, tried to go for an English major and all that other stuff. Do I get first? Ah, I got close. Should have overdrived it a bit earlier if I had gotten it, but nice try, Natalie.
This is Chick's Picks with Chick Hicks, and I'm your host, Chick Hicks. Let's talk about Mater, that unconventional racer from Radiator Springs. He just didn't look like himself today. But hey, everybody has an off day, and this was definitely his. Special guest Smokey, care to tell us what you think?
You know, Chick, I'd say that race had everything. Lots of fancy driving, but no shortage of the fundamentals either.
Thanks for watching, folks. You're the best. And you know what? So am I. Good night, everybody.
All right. Well, anyway, I guess I should finish before we finish off. Just like I said, the thought of Cars 2, fine movie overall. Not the best, but it could have been better. But Pixar's made other great movies since then, so I can't say anything bad about that with different directors and stuff like that. And one day I will watch Cars 3 because I've heard it's not bad. I've heard definitely it's better than Cars 2 for sure. But well, I think we'll call it there. I think I've got enough I think I've talked about enough about Cars in general, just a random tirade, which I can save for other playthroughs of games and stuff like that. So I hope for the brief time we played this, I hope you enjoyed watching it. I was kind of a hit or miss. I was kind of bored at some parts. Not that this is a bad game or anything like that. It's just not as exciting as a Mario Kart, or there's no story like a Need for Speed, or unique enough characters like a Twisted Metal going on there, which you should play those games if you want interesting racing titles. I mean, older Need for Speeds, not so much the newer ones. Don't touch the new ones because they have a ton of microtransactions, and yeah, I don't even want to get into that. But I hope you just like most people probably won't even watch this or even want to mess with my tirades. But for those who watched, I hope you enjoyed what little was there, and if you liked Cars, try it out. I would definitely send the game back. It is not a keeper for me. Usually a lot of these types of games aren't. And it's nothing against Avalanche Games or the publisher WB Games or Disney or whatever. It's just you can only do so much with these titles unless you spend a lot of time on like a couple of years type of thing. You could tell this game was probably made within a year, maybe less than that. They usually use certain game engines to like pump these games out, almost like certain games on Steam that use asset flips and stuff like that. But this is definitely an asset flip, and it's not a terrible game. If I had to give it a review, I'd probably give it like a 6 out of 10, very average. But if you like the Cars series, you'll enjoy it for what it is. But really, one of the major issues I have with this is not enough unique characters. I mean, maybe they're all from the movies, but I don't know. They just weren't. Or not enough named characters from the movies, maybe, that, like, it looked like they added a few characters just to fill out the roster of this game. But anyway, it's kind of weird seeing all this stuff going on in the background while Chicks is just sitting there not even moving, but everyone else is. But anyway, yeah, I would definitely send this game back. It's definitely not a keeper for me, but hey, not every game has to be to have a moment, And I was fine playing with this. I don't think I hated my time with this, really. At first, I was not liking it, but I definitely had more of a fun time than I did with like that Kung Fu Panda game or that How to Train Your Dragon. How to Train Your Dragon game just made me just annoyed how badly the control was and how it played and everything like that. But anyway, all right, I'll see you. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time when the mail comes in. See you later.